Offering our collective salutations to the Almighty, revered elders, devotees from around the world, staff and students, good morning and warm welcome to One World, One Family World Cultural Festival. As we continue to celebrate the oneness of humanity, today we are delighted to celebrate the United States of America, a land where the impossible is simply the next chapter waiting to be written. Celebrated as the land of opportunities, its greatness lies not only in its achievements, but in its enduring belief that every dream deserves a chance to soar. The United States is a land where nature rises with breathtaking authority, from the thunders of Niagara Falls to the Grand Canyon, from Alaska's shimmering northern light to Hawaii's volcanic fire. America's landscape is a living epic, bold, deserved, and awe-inspiring. As part of Universal Wisdom for a United World lecture series, we are honored to welcome Reverend Marlene Harris. Born in Texas and raised in South Carolina, Reverend Harris received his divine call to preach at just 9 years old. And by age of 12, he was ordained by the Presbytery of the Church of Gospel Ministry. He has served as associate pastor at the Camp Walker Military Chapel in South Korea. In 1992, he founded One for Heaven Evangelist Ministry, through which he has preached countless retreats and Christian gatherings. Reverend Harris is the founder and pastor of New Life Church in Georgia. Out of his compassion emerged the vision of South DeKalb's first fully serviced community center. In 2003, he introduced Seeker Service, a unique worship experience crafted especially for the vulnerable and those uncomfortable in traditional church setting. Reverend Harris holds a Bachelor's of Arts in Religious and Philosophy from Clark's Atlanta University. He contributes his journey to the love of his family, the blessings of his late grandmother who nurtured his faith, and above all, the grace of loving God. Brothers and sisters, please put your hands together in welcoming Reverend Marlene Harris.
Lord, may the words of my mouth, the meditations of my heart, may they be acceptable in your sight. You are our strength and my Redeemer. In Jesus' name, amen. Good morning. It is an honor and a privilege to be with you this morning. I am deeply honored to be standing in the same spot where nearly now 100 leaders, 100 clergymen, holy men, and women have stood. Distinguished leaders, honored guests, and my brothers and sisters from every nation gathered here today, I greet you with deep gratitude and the kind of humility that settles on the heart when you realize that you are standing in a moment that is far bigger than yourself. To look across this room and stage and stand here and have heard voices from nearly now 100 nations, that's 100 stories, 100 histories. To stand here is to feel the quiet miracle of what is possible when humanity gathers, not to debate differences, but to celebrate our shared longing for truth and goodness. And let me say, if you ever want to experience the world without boarding a single airplane, the last 90 days would have delivered far more cultural experiences than world traveling could ever have provided. I am honored today to be invited by Sri Madhusudan Sai and this amazing One World, One Family team, not simply to speak, but to be a part of a global movement of unity and togetherness. I come today not as a representative of the West, nor of the rich and wonderful culture of the Americas, but I come today as a member of the global human family. For I am reminded of one of the scriptures from the sacred writings of my Christian tradition, the Bible, which says in the Acts of the Apostles, chapter 17 and verse 26, that God has made of one blood all nations of men, that they should seek the Lord, though he be not far from every one of us. Today, we stand on sacred ground in a sacred hour to honor the life of Sri Sathya Sai Baba, a man whose influence reached far beyond India, into villages, cities, classrooms, temples, and even the hearts of people in lands he never walked. His life was a sermon preached with compassion and conviction. You cannot study the life of people who live with such compassion without confronting the question that echoes through every authentic spiritual tradition. And that question is, what does love look like when it becomes a way of life? The power of this moment and the power of this place is that we must answer that question, not with theories, but with deeds, not with rhetoric, but with service, not with division, but with dignity. As an African American Christian pastor standing here in India, I am reminded that love travels farther and faster than any one of us. Love does not wait for cultural permission, and compassion does not require a visa. It crosses oceans and deserts, even history itself, because love's home is the human soul. And so here we are, a global family assembled by the memory of a man who believed humanity could be more unified, more compassionate, more alive, more loving, that we are called to lift the world a little higher than we found it. This is why we are here, not merely to commemorate a life, but to continue a legacy. If we open ourselves up to this moment, we might find that what gathers us here today is the quiet call to become better versions of ourselves for the sake of a world that desperately needs the love and light that we carry. This is the paradoxical way of Jesus. As we gather in this extraordinary moment in this sacred land before this global family, my heart returns to the teachings of Jesus Christ, the one who transformed my life and shaped the way I see the world. His wisdom carried me from homelessness to this grand hall among leaders and seekers from 100 nations. If my life has taught me anything, it is this: the love and light of Jesus do not merely inspire the soul, that his love and his light rebuilds the soul. They redirect its path and heal buried deep wounds. The upside down way of life that Jesus taught, he taught that the right way to live life is paradoxical to the way the modern world and many global cultures live it. Nowhere is clearer than this paradoxical philosophy of life than upside down kingdom that Jesus expressed so beautifully and so radically in what is commonly known as the Beatitudes. It's found in the Christian Bible in the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 5, verses 3 through 9. Jesus said the most unlikely things. He said things like, "Blessed are the poor in spirit. Blessed are the meek. Blessed are those who mourn. Blessed are the persecuted. Blessed are the peacemakers." Every line is a contradiction to our basic and normal instincts. Every promise of that passage is a reversal of our expectations. Jesus dared us to suggest that the world we see is not the world as God sees it. That the last can become first, and the lowly can be lifted, and that the overlooked can one day inherit the very earth that once denied them happiness and freedom. It was this countercultural and counterintuitive vision that literally changed my life and my perspective of living. I stand before you today as someone who has lived at the bottom of life. I have tasted the sting of lack and the ache of having no roof over my head but the heavens and no floor under my feet but the ground. I know what it is to be marginalized, outcast, overlooked by society. But it was the powerful and undeserved reach of Jesus' love that taught me that my worth did not depend on what I had, on what I possessed, that my worth was dependent upon whose image I bore and upon whose power I trusted. And it is in my deepest moments of weakness, humility, pain, and longing that Jesus reveals the surprising nearness of God. When Jesus healed the sick, lifted the broken, or fed the hungry, and embraced the outcast, he was not performing random miracles. He was unveiling a new way to be human, a way defined by compassion, anchored in service, and fueled by love. And when he told stories of lost sheep, prodigal sons, and wounded travelers, he was confronting us with the truth we cannot escape. Love is not measured by sentiment, but by sacrifice. Not by what you feel, but by what you do. In this powerful and deeply personal passage that we call the Sermon on the Mount, Jesus is recorded as giving 7 internal life virtues. He says that these virtues are blessed. Blessed are the poor in spirit. Blessed are they that mourn. Blessed is meekness and humility. Blessed is hungering for righteousness. Blessed is merciful, being merciful to those who injure us. Blessed is the pure of heart and pure of conscience. And finally, he ends it by saying, blessed are the peacemakers who are called the children of God. Please notice that his 7 internal values end with the phrase, blessed are the peacemakers. Almost as if he is suggesting that the previous 6 virtues have their natural outflow in a life that is characterized by being a peacemaker. He strongly asserts that when we are peacemakers, only then are we able to be called the children of God. What he is saying here is that there is something divine within each of us when we make peace. Not when we admire peace, not when we wish for peace, not when we love peace, but when we make peace. So then, let me ask, what does it mean to be a peacemaker? Not a peace lover, but a peacemaker. To practically and physically make peace. Is such a thing even possible? Can we mere humans do that? Or perhaps the world is too broken, too lost, too divisive, too self-absorbed to make peace. I tell you today that yes, undeniably, yes, emphatically, yes, it is not only possible to make peace, it is necessary and divine to make peace. We are all here today because of peace. So what is peace? Let's define what it is exactly. Peace is simply the restoration of all things back to the way they were originally intended when God created them. When things break, peace is made when they are placed back together again. When a bone in the arm is broken, the arm has no peace. This is not the way the arm was originally intended to be. The lack of peace in the arm is evidenced by the presence of pain, because a lack of peace will always result in the presence of pain. But when the physician applies his skill, his talents, his gifts and resets the arm and put it back together, then the arm is brought back to a place of peace. This is what it means to make peace. When we actively seek to right what is wrong, to put back in place that which is disjointed and broken in our world. It is the ancient Hebrew idea of shalom. Shalom is that thought that nothing is broken, nothing is out of place. Things are just as God designed for them to be. That's peace. When the poor is uplifted, that's peace. When injustice is reversed, that's peace. When unrighteousness is given the stage for righteousness, that's peace. When the sick are made well by access to quality health care, like we see on this amazing ashram, that's peace. When the illiterate are educated, that's peace. When the hurting are helped, that's peace. When the broken are made well, that's peace. Peace is not the wish of the heart. Peace is the actions of the hands. It is when the hands extend so that peace can be given. Jesus understood this. He understood the significance of it. Madhusudan understood this. Madhusudan Sai understood this. Sathya Sai Baba understood this. Many of those of us in this room, we understand this. We are not here because we wish for a better day. We are here because we work for a better day. We're here because we labor for a better day. I need to share with you that the hands that help people and lift people are the hands of God. The hands that restore people and bless people, those are the hands of God. The story is told about an island in Hawaii called the Molokai Island. It is in a small little peninsula where there was, in the early days of the 1900s, a colony of lepers that was there. These lepers had been ostracized and they had been ignored by society. They had been forgotten by others, left there in isolation to die. There was a Belgian priest by the name of Father Damien. And Father Damien had a call upon his heart to go to Molokai and to be a blessing to the lepers that had been forgotten by the Hawaiian culture. When he got there, he was told, don't go on that island because you'll catch leprosy. Don't be among them because you'll die. You'll contract the disease and you will die. And Father Damien said this. He said, I cannot sit idly by and watch people whom God loves die. This is his words. As he walked onto that island and he embraced lepers, he hugged them, he fed them, he aided them, he nursed them, he nurtured them. And every Sunday he would stand to give his sermon to the leper colony there. And there was this one Sunday that Father Damien stood and he did not say, you lepers. He stood that day and he said, we lepers. He had contracted leprosy. They wept and cried, not because he had contracted leprosy. They cried because he had become one of them. It is this kind of incarnation that is at the heart of the Christian tradition. The idea that God identifies himself with us, the poor, the wretched, the broken, us, those who need the aid and the help, us. That God has identified himself with us so clearly, so significantly, that he has incarnated himself to be with us, to be one with us. Father Damien died on that leper colony in Molokai, Hawaii. When he died, the Belgian authorities demanded for his body to be taken back and given to the Belgian society. And the lepers on Molokai begged and said, don't take him away. They said, we must. So they said, cut off his hand and give us the hand of Father Damien. Such a strange request. Why? And they said, because that is the hand that loved us. That is the hand that cared for us. That is the hand that blessed us. Your hand is the hand of God. Your hand, when it reaches down to touch someone at the lowest dregs of society, that is God's work. Your hand, when it touches those babies in NICU, or touches those students in the university, or touches those elderly that are sick, or those who are poor and cannot afford medication or cannot afford health care, your hand that feeds the sick and clothes the naked, your hand is the hand of God. And that is the call of every single human being. Not to desire peace only, not to even love peace only, but to make peace. To make peace. I am constantly reminded of this when I hear of how enemies become friends when peace is actively sought. You know the story, I'm sure, of Nelson Mandela, who was this activist in the apartheid-driven South Africa when racial discrimination and racial injustice was at its peak. And you remember Nelson Mandela, once a warrior on the wrong side of peace, became an advocate for peace, arrested and placed in Robben Island jail. And he was in jail because of righteousness, because he advocated for racial justice for 27 years of his life. He had formed a bond with his jailer while there, a man by the name of Christo Brand. And Christo Brand became his jailer, and it was the interesting event that Christo Brand talked with him every day. For 27 years, he developed a bond, and Christo Brand said, I had never seen it where the jailer and the one jailed becomes brothers. When Mandela was released from prison and elevated to the highest office of the land, the one man who had the power to exact revenge against his jailer with the stroke of a pen, he is the president now of South Africa. Power is in his hands. Mandela did not seek revenge. Mandela invited his former prison jailer to come and stand beside him at his inauguration to be president of South Africa. And Christo Brand, the man who held the keys that locked Mandela behind bars, was the very man who stood beside his once prisoner as his now brother. That day, Mandela made peace, not just wanting it. You and I are called with that amazing and powerful gift of service, that we're called to be the actuaries of the peace of God, that we're called to serve humanity, to give everything we have for the holy passion of loving people. The world cannot be healed without the passion of peace. There will never be a stop to bombs. There will never be a cessation to war. There will never be an end to poverty. Hunger will never cease until there are people like you and I who are not just lovers of peace, but we're willing to sacrifice our time, our energy, our resources to become people who make peace. When I give of myself, I am not giving of something that belongs to me. I am not my own. You are not your own. We belong to a larger picture of humanity. We belong to a global scheme, a global-sized vision. We belong to God Himself. And our desire should be not to please our own will or to please our own comfort, but our desire must be to please God, to serve those whom He lived for. In my tradition of the Christian tradition, every single moment that Jesus lived His life, He lived His life serving people, making peace. When he walked down the street and touched the leper, he was making peace. When he touched the blind, he was making peace. When he healed the lame and raised the dead, he was making peace. He was making peace even in his own death. He died on a cruel Roman cross in an act that is called crucifixion. Crucifixion comes from the word excruciating pain. He died not for his own crimes. He died so that he might give the world the freedom that the world needed desperately. In his own death, he made peace. While on a cruel cross, while the Roman soldiers were nailing nails in his hands, he said, "Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do." To forgive the man who is killing you requires a heart to make peace. In his own death, as he died on the cross, he made peace between two worlds, a dark world and a light world. He made it so that those who are stuck in darkness have the capacity and the ability to walk from darkness and into light. Darkness is when you are consumed with your own greed, consumed with your own comfort, consumed with your own power. Darkness is the veil that covers our eyes, that will not allow us to see the humanity in our own brothers and sisters. Darkness is the condition when we have no heart and no conscience for the needs of another person. Darkness is when I eat my bread and I'm unconcerned with how you eat yours. Darkness is when I wear my clothes and live in my home and I'm unconcerned with how you are dressed and where you live. That is darkness. Light is when I have been elevated from my darkness and I'm able to finally open my eyes and see the need of those around me, those hurting, those who are lost, those who are passionate to be found. That's light. That's light. And for many, light doesn't come until something within us dies. Like Christ on the cross, we all must face our own cross. What is it about you? What is it about me that must die? My selfishness? My pride? My greed? What is it about us that must die so we can finally see light? When he died on that cross, they buried him in a grave. But because death is a darkness that cannot overcome the light of life, he rose from that grave. And the rising of Christ from his grave is the rising of every single one of us also from ours. Make no doubt about it, the poor and the hurting and the lost, they are in a grave made by the cultures of the world we live in. How powerfully they are liberated when resurrection comes to them. So as I close today, I close by sharing with you a story that speaks close to home. There was a young Indian lawyer in this very soil and sand during the days of British imperialism here in this very country. And that young Indian lawyer found his way to a place of some sort of enlightenment and decided that he would express nonviolence as a way for liberation. His name is Mahatma Gandhi. Gandhi lived his life embodying the very principles that you and I are here today to celebrate and to honor. There was a young preacher on the other side of the world who heard about Gandhi's nonviolent resistance against British imperialism. And when he heard about that nonviolent resistance, he said, I have to go to visit that land that had such great success. That young preacher, His name was Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Dr. King got on a plane in 1959 and traveled here to India. And he stood at the place where Gandhi's ashes were. He listened to the words that Gandhi spoke. He was in the environment that Gandhi was in. And Dr. King got back on his plane and flew back to America, and he said that Jesus gave him the mission, but Gandhi gave him the method. And by promoting nonviolence in my own country, born from the very sands of this country, America and India tied together in this inescapable bond seeking for freedom and justice. People who are black and brown, who look like me, in a nation, in a country where they were discriminated against, ostracized, and dealt with unjustly, found themselves at the end of lashes, at the end of whips, at the end of water hoses with dogs lunging at them. But yet they said nothing. They offered no resistance, they sought no revenge, and they gave no violence. This was black and brown people in my country making peace. And when the world saw them, the world realized this is not weakness, this is strength. It is strength to stand at your accuser, your enemy, and call him your brother. It is strength to love the one who harms you, to love the one who hurts you. That is strength and not weakness. And in that strength is why I'm able to get on a plane and come here today to be with you in this global mission. I admire deeply what I see here. I've walked your halls. I've walked your streets. I've toured your hospital. I've seen the pain in the eyes of the people that you minister to every day. I've seen this amazing and massive vision, that Sri Madhusudan Sai has given and has initiated, and it is marvelous in my eyes. I leave with a new passion to make good on what I've seen here today, to not just leave so that I might be a lover of peace, but I leave that I might become a maker of peace. And so I leave to you with this benediction, the same benediction that St. Francis of Assisi gave when he said, Lord, make me an instrument of peace. My desire is to be an instrument that God can use, and I know that is yours as well. Thank you so much for allowing me the privilege to share what was in my heart. God bless you.
We extend our heartfelt gratitude to Reverend Marlene Harris for sharing his inspiring message, reminding us that peace is the very foundation upon which a truly happy and harmonious world is built upon. Now we invite Professor Sri Kantamurthy, Vice Chancellor, Sri Sathya Sai University for Human Excellence, to extend our token of love and gratitude to Venerable Marlene Harris. We will now have a short break and then reconvene for next session.
नटराजा हे त्रिपुरारी, नटराजा हे त्रिपुरारी, नटराजा हे त्रिपुरारी, नटराजा हे त्रिपुरारी। जय हे
स्वरूपा करुणासागर प्रेम स्वरूपा करुणासागर प्रेम स्वरूपा पाप विमोचन
पादं साई पादं सुन्दरपादं साई पादं सुन्दरपादं साई पादं सुन्दरपादं साई पादं पङ्कजचरणं पापविमोचनं पङ्कजचरणं पापविमोचनं पङ्कजचरणं पापविमोचनं पङ्कजचरणं पापविमोचनं सुन्दरपादं साई पादं सुन्दरपादं साई पादं नटराजनटनं साई पादं नटराजनटनं सर्वनाम स्वरूपं साई बाबा सर्वनाम स्वरूपं साई बाबा सर्वनाम स्वरूपं साई बाबा सर्वनाम स्वरूपं साई बाबा सर्वहृदय विराजं साई बाबा सर्वहृदय विराजं साई बाबा सर्वहृदय विराजं साई बाबा सर्वहृदय विराजं साई बाबा सर्वनाम स्वरूपं साई बाबा सर्वनाम स्वरूपं साई बाबा सर्वदैवत्व स्वरूपं साई बाबा सर्वदैवत्व स्वरूपं साई बाबा सर्वदैवत्व स्वरूपं साई बाबा सर्वदैवत्व स्वरूपं साई बाबा सर्वधर्म विराजं साई बाबा सर्वधर्म साई बाबा सर्वधर्म विराजं साई बाबा ब्रह्म सनातन साई बाबा ब्रह्म सनातन साई बाबा ब्रह्म सनातन साई बाबा ब्रह्म सनातन साई बाबा सर्वनाम स्वरूपं साई बाबा स्वरूपं साई बाबा सर्वहृदय विराजं साई बाबा सर्वनाम स्वरूपं साई बाबा
गोपाला मथुरानाथ हरे कृष्ण गोपाला मथुरानाथ हरे कृष्ण गोपाला श्याम गोपाला साई गोपाला श्याम गोपाला साई गोपाला वनमाली गिरिधारी श्याम गोपाला वनमाली गिरिधारी श्याम गोपाला गोकुल बाला वेणु गोपाला गोकुल बाला वेणु गोपाला गोकुल बाला वेणु गोपाला गोकुल बाला वेणु गोपाला नंदनंदना नवनीत चोरा
चन्द्रशेखराय नमः शेखराय नमः चन्द्रशेखराय नमः शेखराय नमः गंगाधराय नमः गंगाधराय नमः गंगाधराय चन्द्रशेखराय नमः चन्द्रशेखराय नमः ॐ नमः शिवाय नमः ॐ नमः शिवाय नमः हर हर हराय नमः हर हर हराय नमः शिव शिव शिवाय नमः शिव शिव शिवाय नमः शिव शिव शिवाय नमः शिव शिव शिवाय नमः साईश्वराय नमः साईश्वराय नमः सत्य साईश्वराय नमः साईश्वराय नमः चन्द्रशेखराय नमः चन्द्रशेखराय नमः गंगाधराय नमः गंगाधराय नमः चन्द्रशेखराय नमः चन्द्रशेखराय नमः ॐ नमः शिवाय नमः ॐ नमः शिवाय नमः हर हर हराय नमः शिव शिव शिवाय नमः शिव शिव शिवाय नमः साईश्वराय नमः साईश्वराय नमः सत्य साईश्वराय नमः सत्य साईश्वराय नमः चन्द्रशेखराय नमः
Invoking the blessings of the Almighty, respected dignitaries, revered elders, esteemed faculty and students and participants joining us from across the world, a very good morning to each and every one of you. We would first like to extend a very warm welcome to our dignitaries on stage. Pastor Marlon Harris, founding pastor of New Life Church, Georgia. Mr. Murali Vulaganti, founder and chairman of People Shores. Mr. Vivek Mahadevan, Board Member, People Shores. Among the many noble service initiatives envisioned by Sadhguru, People Shores stands out as truly unique. It is not merely a project, it is a pathway that directly empowers individuals to uplift their lives and livelihoods through family sustainable careers. People Shores is a non-profit organization that brings technology and tech-enabled jobs to economically disadvantaged communities and underserved populations across the United States. With compassion and foresight, it reaches out to opportunity youth, veterans and families in regions like the Mississippi Delta, Pine Bluff, Arkansas, Tampa, Florida, Brooklyn and Bronx, New York, Washington, D.C., Poplar Bluff, Missouri, Jeffersonville, Ohio, Decatur, Georgia, from equipping them with the digital skills and opening doors to meaningful careers in technology. Today, People Shores proudly operates 9 centers across 8 states, transforming the lives of more than 3,000 young adults and their families. Each center is not just a workplace, it is a beacon of hope, a hub of opportunity, and a testament to the power of service-driven innovation. This morning is a celebration of that vision, a reminder that when technology meets compassion, lives are transformed, communities are strengthened, and futures are reimagined. It fills our hearts with joy to see so many of our brothers and sisters here from the People Shores family today, from New York, Arkansas, and San Jose, adding their spirit to this celebration. A big round of applause as we welcome them to our family here at Sathya Sai Grama. May we now invite Mr. Murali Vulaganti, founder and chairman of People Shores, to give the introductory remarks. Mr. Vulaganti is an alumnus of IIT Kharagpur and BITS Pilani with over 15 years of global experience at the Wall Street, where he designed technology solutions for leading investment banks. He later moved to Singapore to develop the capital markets practice for a Fortune 500 firm across Asia Pacific. In 2008, guided by Bhagwan Baba and Sadhguru, he founded Rural Shores to create employment opportunities for rural youth. In 2017, under the guidance of Sadhguru Sri Madhusudan Sai, this initiative evolved into People Shores, expanding its impact across India and the United States. Mr. Murali Vulaganti, please.
Om Sri Sai Ram, and good morning. So today, as Sister Bhuvana mentioned, we're going to talk about People Shores, which is another amazing global humanitarian mission of Sadhguru. This mission started, actually the story started way back in 2008, in actually 2007, when Baba, in a private conversation with a group of us, talked about, apart from the 3 verticals that we all know, socio-care, healthcare, and educare, he, for the first time I heard him talk about econo-care, which is about creating economic opportunities for the folks in the rural India, right, with the villages, because the idea is we bring jobs and create income opportunities for the rural youth, then there's no reason for them to migrate to the cities and stay where they are and make a living and earn their living there, as well as build a career, right? So they can stay with the family, and so that's econo-care was coined by Baba first time there on that day in 2007. That actually led to the birth of Rural Shores, because is one of the initiative of the economic care is to bring, the rural shows is all about bringing the jobs to the doorsteps rather than having the people migrate to the cities for jobs. So that's how it started, and the first center started in Bagepalli, and which was about a 1 hour drive from here, which the center was inaugurated by Baba on June 8th, 2008. So from there, the journey continued, and today the rural shows has 14 centers, and across 9 states, delivering we have more than 3,000 employees on the payroll today, but in the last 15 years, it actually created employment opportunities for more than 22,000 rural youth. They build their careers and they grow. And we also trained 37,000 rural youth on technical skills so that they can get. And these employees working in these rural centers, they're delivering technology and business process services to companies like Amazon, Accenture, Unilever, all these premium brands, both domestic and international, and delivering high quality work. And most of these partners we have a long-term relationship. Amazon, we started in 2018, is going strong and is scaling. Accenture for 10 years, so on so. So it's the long-term partnerships because the people delivering high-quality job. They're proving that they have the talent, and we invest in them. They can learn those and do a great job. So that's where we are with rural shows. And rural shows also being recognized worldwide. It is a case study by the leading institutions like IIM, Bangalore, Harvard and Oxford done a joint case study on rural shows, as well as HEC, Paris, and also the Michigan Ross Business School. And it also received several awards, both in India and abroad, and also being featured very widely in the leading publications like New York Times, LA Times, Toronto Star, Irish Times. So both, again, national media and international media, widely been recognized and featured. And this year, in the beginning of this year, back in February, we inaugurated the 14th center in the Northeast. Now, so rural shows actually expanded its reach all the way to the Northeast of India. So we inaugurated a new center in Assam, outside the Guwahati, by Sadhguru, and also the Chief Minister of Assam were there to inaugurate that center. So that was the 14th center. But the best part is here. The 15th center is coming right here in Muddenahalli. And it's going to be located next to Sai Shore. If Sai Anandam is the head, the rural show center is going to rest at the lotus feet of Baba. Okay? Now, in 2017-16, Sadhguru visited our rural shows corporate office in Whitefield. At that point, he directed that we need to bring this model to the US under the banner of People Shows. He named the company also People Shows because in the US, that this initiative is not only confined to the economically challenged rural communities, but also inner cities and Native American reservations, as well as the serve the veterans as well. So it is a kind of anywhere the underserved communities and the opportunities are needed, that's where we need to do. So he named this initiative as People Shows, which is a separate legal entity. It's a for-profit but social enterprise. Okay, because the profitability has to be there to sustain and scale the initiative so that we can invest and scale it. But stability and the sustainability is not only coming from the profits you generate and make the organization sustainable, but also there's a sustainability for the people who are given this opportunity. Their lives are now have a sustainable income, and they achieve the sustainability in their own lives also. It's not like one time giving a charity and all. So there's an opportunity that's given to them. The way that we do is we the first thing we do is we basically wherever we go and set up the center in the community, the first step is to form an ecosystem of community partners comprised of the government agencies, civic agencies, local social service agencies, and the academic institutions, training institutions. We bring them together and form a partnership. Through them, we enroll the people because they know the people who are working who are looking for opportunities in that community. So, for instance, in DCAB in Atlanta, our community partner is none other than Pastor Harris, right? So we are located in his New Life Church campus, where they're also providing a lot of wraparound services, things like food banking, and they have a food bank, they have a after-school program, and daycare child care programs. So it helps our employees to overcome the barriers for employment. So that's very important. So that ecosystem is very critical and very important to provide a full-blown solution to the people's employment. Then we bring them, hire them, give them employment, and then we enable them with the digital skills. Then they start working on the actual client-assigned projects and processes. Then those who show the leadership skills and take the initiative, we promote them, so they get elevated. So that is a model that is being followed. And so it is the impact is on the people who get the jobs, and also not only them, but it's also on the community. Because when you have a center in a community like that and create at least 100 jobs, the income they earn from that, they're going to spend 80%, at least 80% of the income in that community. So that will stimulate the economic activity in those communities, so there's a local multiplier effect. And then obviously the businesses who are outsourcing the work to people shows, they also benefit from this initiative because we are providing onshore delivery at par quality and also low attrition as well as cost efficiencies. So plus we are giving an opportunity to participate in the community development. So there is an impact on the business as well. Today we have, as Sister Bona said, 9 centers across in the U.S., across 8 states in the U.S. And I'm so happy to let you know that apart from the 2 new centers that came up in the last 3 months, Sadhguru visited every one of them and blessed all our employees, associates in that center. So for those associates, Swami is not new. They love him like anything. They know that he is the real founder. So I would like to stand correct Sister Bhuvana, I'm not the founder. I'm merely instrument. The real founder of this initiative is Sadhguru. And there are so many transformative journeys I'm not going to go through, but people who come from a very challenging background, when they get an opportunity like this, in 6 to 1 year, their life gets transformed unbelievably. I just want to share one story. There's a victim of domestic violence who was living in a shelter home and being housed by a social service agency. Then we offered her a job in San Jose. We trained her on robotic process automation skills, and she worked for a couple of years. Later on, she was offered a job at Accenture in Nashville. She moved there, and a year later, she sends a picture to us where she was sitting in her balcony of her condo and holding a teacup, keeping her feet up on the table across, and sends that picture and said, "People shows enable me this." That kind of stories, those kind of stories what you hear, amazing, transformative. Only Sadhguru can envision this kind of initiatives. Here are a couple of pictures to give a visual aspect of the centers that are located in different centers. But the best part is here. And also been recognized by the media in the US, like ABC News and all. But volume, please, audio. Yeah. Swami, I can't express my gratitude for giving this opportunity to be part of your mission and using this as an instrument. And we thank you very much on behalf of the associates presented here and also the 500 plus associates. We really thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Vulaganti. We will now have a short video that showcases the impact of People Shores. May we have the video, please?
Welcome to People Shores, where we believe in empowering American talent and delivering excellence. Our mission is to unlock untapped potential in economically challenged communities, providing high-quality onshore business solutions at competitive rates. By doing so, we're not just providing services, we're building a national footprint of opportunity and innovation. Do you know there are more than 9 million talented individuals in marginalized communities across America? People Shores is dedicated to unlocking this potential by offering meaningful careers and training opportunities.
What keeps me going every day is seeing people grow, seeing our apprentices and associates gain confidence, build new skills, and open doors to opportunities they didn't think were possible.
Our approach creates a ripple effect. Each job we create stimulates 2 to 3 additional jobs in the community. By investing in people, not just skills, we help revitalize rural towns and inner cities, turning untapped talent into a powerful economic multiplier.
The interesting thing about People Shores is that it is not a typical for-profit business. It's a public benefit corporation. And that means it's not here just to make money, but it's here to lift up people, not only to give them an opportunity, not to give them a handout, but a leg up. What People Shores does in locations like Clarksdale is not just help the local economy, but they help break the generational cycle of poverty that has been a scourge on rural America for generations.
Our journey begins with identifying aspiring young adults through partnerships with community colleges, social service agencies, and government programs. Selected cohorts undergo paid training in digital and soft skills, no 4-year degree required. As their skills grow, they deliver high-quality services to premier corporate clients. High performers advance into leadership roles, creating sustainable career pathways.
People Shores have affected me in such a positive way, giving me a job that I'm proud of and a secondary family. It truly impacted my life, showing me opportunities I've never been shown before.
One of the greatest things that's happened for me has been able to find a sense of community with my coworkers, managers, and supervisors.
Behind every service delivered by People Shores is a story of transformation. From unemployed single mothers to successful process managers, from Uber drivers to senior software engineers, and from refugees to expert RPA developers, our impact is personal and profound.
I came from manufacturing, and right now I'm in IT and I'm loving it. I was pretty much one finger typing, but now I can type a lot faster and I can do more things on the computer. So I like to thank People Shores.
It's been very transformative. It's teaching me how to reach beyond my limits and, pretty much just go for it.
If you have a willing heart and a readiness attitude, then People Shores can help you find a place.
Join us as we lead the way into the future of work. By expanding our footprint, we aim to serve more communities and clients, growing to more than 20 centers by 2027. To learn more about a location that fits your business, technology, and social goals, go to www.peopleshores.com.
Two associates from People Shores will share with us their transformative journeys this morning. First, we have Ms. Adisuwa Edokpai. She's a Nigerian-American professional based in New York, currently serving as a software engineer at People Shores. She brings dedication, technical expertise, and a strong commitment to using technology for meaningful impact. Before joining People Shores, she worked as a sales associate at Macy's and says, by joining People Shores, her life has transformed. Miss Adesua Ediokpai, please.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Adesua. It is truly an honor to stand here in India today. I want to start by saying thank you. Thank you to the leaders, the trainers, the mentors, and every single person who makes People Shores possible. Your work doesn't just change careers, it changes lives. And I'm standing here as living proof. A short while ago, I was a young immigrant woman from Nigeria living in New York, full of ambition, but with no clear direction. I knew I wanted more for my life, but I didn't know where to begin. But then I found People Shores. From the very first day, they saw potential in me that I hadn't even recognized in myself. They didn't just teach me Python or SQL. They didn't just prepare me for a career in tech. They gave me confidence, they gave me community, they gave me belief, and that belief transformed my entire life. Because of this program, I entered the tech world not as an outsider, but as someone who felt prepared, capable, and empowered. Today, I'm on track to becoming a software engineer at a global financial firm, building a career and a future that I'm deeply proud of. I also volunteer in shelters, because when your life is changed, it becomes both a responsibility and a joy to give back. And I want to say this clearly. People Shores opened the door, but I had to walk through it. As Baba teaches, knowledge without action is useless, and action without knowledge is reckless. People Shores gave me the knowledge, but I had to take action and use what I learned. And every single person in this room has that same opportunity. Your life can change, not through dramatic moments, but through one simple decision. Decision to say yes to growth, yes to learning, and yes to yourself. To everyone who made my journey possible, thank you for your commitment, thank you for your passion, thank you for building a space where people like me can thrive, dream, and rise. With that, I say, thank you so much, Swami, for continually investing in the betterment of people across the world. And thank you, People Shores.
Next associate is Mr. Justin Manning. He hails from the Bronx, New York, and joined People Shores in 2024 after completing 6 months of intensive software engineering training. He's now poised to bring his skills and dedication to a leading global technology services company, marking a promising start to his career in the tech industry. Before joining People Shores, he worked at a pharmacy. May we please call upon Mr. Justin Manning.
Good morning, everyone. When I first learned about People Shores and its mission, I knew I had found something profoundly rare, a model of impact that not only changes lives, but uplifts entire communities. People Shores is a mission of hope, a mission of empowerment, a mission rooted in the belief that strength is found in togetherness. But when I received the invitation to join the People Shores team, I could never have imagined just how deeply it would transform my own life. I come from New York City, a place often associated with opportunity and limitless potential. Yet, within the concrete jungle and hustle and bustle, there are still many communities that remain overlooked and underrepresented. Coming from one of those communities, I never attended college, and I worked part-time in a pharmacy trying to make ends meet. Everything changed the day a friend told me about People Shores and stressed the impact it could have. I applied, and after being accepted into the program, underwent an immersive technical training experience where the fundamentals of software engineering were taught. The cohort environment allowed me to learn alongside individuals who shared the same hunger for growth and the same belief in what our futures could become. Through that support and the unwavering guidance of the People Shores team, I grew, not just in my skills, but personally, and soon earned a technical role I once believed was far beyond my reach. I want to express my deepest gratitude to each and every one of you for the days I've spent here in India, a trip that showed me nothing but love, hospitality, and peace at every turn. The warmth of the community here, the way you all welcome others as though they have always belonged, is something I will carry with me forever. I've come to cherish how we remove our shoes before entering public spaces. In America, we reserve that gesture for our homes, but here, everywhere is home. That simple act speaks to the spirit of India, respectful, grounded, and deeply human. No matter how much I learn from you all here, it simply would not be enough. No matter how many amazing people I meet here, it simply would not be enough. And no matter how many days I stay here, it simply would not be enough. So to People Shores, to Swami, and to every individual who has poured their time, energy, and heart into creating a kinder, more connected world, I offer my deepest and most sincere gratitude. Thank you for extending your hand to communities across the world, and thank you for reminding us all what becomes possible when compassion and purpose come together to unify our one world, one family. Thank you.
Listening to the two associates, we are reminded of the power of opportunity and the impact of service. It is this very commitment that we celebrate today. And now it is time for the Excellence Award segment. The Excellence Award is presented to individuals who embody the highest standards of commitment, leadership, and impact. It recognizes those who not only excel in their roles, but also elevate the organization through their vision, dedication, and service. This honor celebrates people who consistently go above and beyond, setting benchmarks, inspiring teams, and advancing the mission with integrity and passion. This morning, we are delighted to present the Service Excellence Award to Ms. Tammy Cobb, Director, Talent Acquisition and Partnerships. She oversees workforce development, training, and employee engagement at People Shores, directing and implementing systems that strengthen organizational excellence. Ms. Tammy builds and sustains key relationships with ecosystem partners and government agencies while leading initiatives in recruiting, grants, and talent development. With her unwavering focus on impact and alignment, she ensures that every operational function advances the core mission of People Shores. A big round of applause as we invite Ms. Tammy Cobb to receive the award from Sadhguru, and may we request her to deliver her acceptance speech thereafter.
Good morning, respected elders, brothers, sisters, and children. Sincere gratitude to Sadhguru, Madhusudan Sai. Thank you so much for this very unexpected honor. It has touched me more than I can even express. The kindness, love, and warmth shown has been overwhelming in the best possible way. For the past 17 years, my work has always been revolved around education and social impact. Standing here today reminds me, accepting this Service of Leadership Award, that the mission behind the work is still alive and growing. Helping people overcome barriers and finding their path has shaped most of my life. Over time, the purpose has deepened into something that feels like less of a career and more of a calling. This journey eventually led me to People Shores, where this mission takes real shape every day. At People Shores, we employ local, often overlooked talent and create the economic mobility within their own community. The impact never ends with one person. It reaches their children, their parents, and their communities. This is why our work matters. It is the reason why People Shores exist. My heartfelt thanks again to Sadhguru Sri Madhusudan Sai and the One World, One Family mission for the welcoming of us, People Shores, and myself, for sharing the belief that empowering people is one of the greatest gifts that we can offer the world. It is my privilege to be a part of this journey. Once again, thank you, Swami, for your very special award. I'm truly touched.
May we now invite Mr. Kenneth Walker to address all of us. A native New Yorker, Mr. Walker is the Executive Vice President of Inclusion and Culture at Perscolas. The partnership with Perscolas gave birth to the Brooklyn campus. Shortly thereafter, the Bronx Delivery Center in the South Bronx was established. Mr. Kenneth Walker.
Good day, everyone. I am Ken Walker, Executive Vice President at Perscolas. It's an honor to speak about the extraordinary impact that happens when mission-driven organizations come together with a shared purpose. For more than 20 years, I've had the privilege of watching Perscolas grow from a single campus in the South Bronx to 24 campuses across the country. What has remained constant through that growth is our belief that talent is everywhere, but opportunity is not, and that the right partnerships can change that reality. In 2024, I was introduced to the People Shores team and to Muddenahalli, and what I witnessed was something short of inspiring. The speed, commitment, and intentionality with which they activated our Bronx Delivery Center reflected a deep understanding of what collaboration truly means. It wasn't just about opening a site, it was about opening doors. Because of this partnership, many of our learners are now working at some of the largest firms in the world. They are thriving in transformative, good-paying tech careers that uplift not only their own lives, but the lives of their families and communities. When People Shores invest in our learners, they're not just filling roles, they're fueling futures. This is the power of partnership. When two organizations align their missions, values, and urgency to create pathways that might not have existed otherwise. Together, Perscolas and People Shores are building a model for what inclusive, community-driven workforce development can look like, and doing it all in the Bronx and in Brooklyn. I'm grateful for this collaboration, proud of what we've already accomplished, and excited for the even greater impact we will create together. Thank you very much.
May we now invite Mr. Vivek Mahadevan, Director, People Shores, to address all of us. He's the former Chief Strategy Officer at NetApp, has led global strategy, acquisitions, and alliances with prior leadership roles at LSI, BMC, Compaq, and NeoEdge. He holds degrees from IIT Madras and the University of Iowa. Mr. Mahadevan is also on the board of the One World, One Family Foundation, USA. Mr. Vivek Mahadevan, please.
Pranams at the lotus feet of Bhagwan Sri Sathya Sai Baba. Pranams at the lotus feet of Sadhguru Madhusudan Sai. And also would like to welcome Pastor Harris and our favorite speaker as well, Sri Narshan Murthy, that we all enjoy listening to. We had a brilliant presentation this morning by Pastor Harris. I wish all of you have a chance to review it once more. In 2017, Swami had a meeting with me and Murli and said, look, you've got all this corporate experience. I'd like you to help what's happening with Murli in the US. And, for us, we've done a lot of work in our Mathrubhumi, which is India, but it was time to do some work per Swami's command in Karma Bhumi, which is the US of A. Now, Murli is this kind of gentleman who follows Swami's dictate. He's absolutely fearless, he's selfless, and absolutely shameless. I ran around with him to multiple companies in San Jose, talking to them, getting some interviews, trying to get some work for all our associates. And it was a lot of fun. But the most important thing is that when Swami came to the US, I had a chance to travel with him, Murli, and a number of devotees from the US as well as India to a number of the centers. And I can tell you that the impact that Swami has, he's like a divine magnet, guys. When he gets up there and speaks, the divine vibe is instant, the attraction is immediate. He's talking to the partnerships that Murli talked about, the government officials, the employees of People Shores, the partners of People Shores, and it's like, one giant puzzle coming together to execute a business plan. The second thing is that, normally in the corporate world, when we are having a presentation looking at the next 3 years, we start about 6 months before. So if it was looking at 2026, we would start in June looking at the next couple of years and what the business plan needs to be. Well, Swami in April of 2025 told Murli and me and some of the other board members what the plans for People Shores were going to be for the next 5 years. So the beauty of this model is all we have to do is say, yes, Swami, we don't have to think about any strategy, we just have to execute the plan, and it's really pretty amazing. One of the things I wanted to say as well is that Murli is like an energizer bunny. I have to run to keep up with him. But there's also an X factor for Murli, that is his sister Sudha, who's his wife Sudha, who is like a rock for him, right? So that allows him to travel all over the US while she manages the house. So when you think of People Shores, the P in People Shores clearly stands for people, right? The second P, another P that it stands for is passion, because you can't be in a startup, and I've been in a number of startups myself, and if you don't have the passion to keep going, it's very difficult, because you literally have high highs and low lows. And so the third P attribute is perseverance, because through that perseverance, you get to keep going. And at that time, when you're having those highs and lows and the perseverance, we always remember Swami's words, that you are not the doer, you're just a selfless instrument. Let me do the work, and you get out of the way. It's that simple. And the last P, of course, is if you do all those 3 Ps ahead of time, then you get to have some level of profits. So I'd like to thank Swami for this divine opportunity to work together with this People Shores team. I can tell you, you're going to see a tremendous growth in this company over the next 5 years. I've been there from day one. So we look forward to Swami's guidance. I know he's coming to the US in May of 2026, and we're going to rock and roll with People Shores. Thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you, Mr. Mahadevan. We will now extend our token of love and gratitude and appreciation to all the associates from People Shores. As we call out the names, request you to please come on the dais. Mr. Ismail Fofana. Big round of applause. Mr. Ismail Fofana. Mr. Charles Shield, Mr. Justin Manning, Mr. Dylan Wingard, Mr. Avero Fillet, and Mr. Ken Walker. On the ladies' side, may we please invite Ms. Elisa Pisareva, Ms. Adisuwa Edokpai, Ms. Eliza Lee, Ms. Christine Celestine, Ms. Hanan Fadah, and Ms. Beena Patel. May we kindly request all the associates to kindly come forward to the stage for a group photograph.
Dear Sadhguru, on behalf of all the associates gathered here and the 500 plus team members across our 9 centers in the United States, we offer our heartfelt gratitude for founding this transformative initiative, an initiative that has brought opportunity right to our doorstep. It is truly remarkable that sitting here in Muddenahalli, your thoughts and heart reached us. We are deeply honored to have been invited to join in these wonderful celebrations. What we have witnessed here today has left us in awe and inspired. This has been nothing short of a divine experience. The memories we carry from this visit will remain etched in our hearts for the rest of our lives. This has been nothing short, everywhere we turn, we feel and experience pure love.
Love is all that we can see. Love is there for you and me.
Love is filling up our soul. Love is a gift that makes us whole.
Because we are one world, one family, together strong in harmony. We love you, Swami.
On behalf of all of us, we pray to Sadhguru to bless us all with his divine message this morning.
A very good morning to People Shores, to all the wonderful people who have come all the way from the US to be here and share this moment of celebrations at this One World, One Family festival. Truly, we feel complete as a family when you joined us today. And I'm so glad to hear all the wonderful stories that they told, the speeches that they made, and all the updates that we got. So I'm really, really very happy and very, very touched by your kind gesture of so much of love and gratitude. I think that's the real people shows. While business happens, things happen, it's about touching the lives of people and transforming them. They are no more the same after they join People Shores, because that goodness in them, that kindness and love in them comes out. And a few of the associates, these are just a few samples from the entire team of People Shores in the US. And if they are like this, you can imagine how the others must be. All of them are very, very nice people. And that is what touched me the most. So, yes, on this special occasion, of course, Murli is truly a missionary. He's not a professional. He's not a mercenary. He's a missionary. Because he went to the US not as a professional. He went to the US as a missionary. He had actually wound up and settled happily in India, in Bangalore, and thought that life will go on now smoothly. There's nothing much to do. It's time to sort of semi-retire and then take life as it comes easy. But then it wasn't so. He had to again pack everything and go back to the US, buy a house, that too not in some posh locality in New York or Los Angeles, but in Clarksdale, Mississippi, where nobody would otherwise want to go. And his wife simply followed. And the family shifted. And he started it all by himself, thanks to the support that everybody gave. I believe that the first center in San Jose and then Clarksdale, and John Livingston, who was one of the instruments of the divine in getting that up and running, he's also here. Then he was joined by the likes of Vivek Mahadevan and several other very, very nice people from around the various fields of professions. They all joined and started giving their little bit of services. And I have to remember Mickey, because he's not here, but he was very, very helpful as the first CEO to look after this expansion and development of the People Shows program. And today we have so many centers. I tell them, I keep coming back to People Shows as long as you open more centers, because I love cutting ribbons. And in the US, they give me a real big scissors, not like in India. Real big scissors, and I love that cutting ribbon with that big scissors. So hopefully I'll come back in May, June and cut more ribbons. And that is what People Shows should do. Every year I come back, you open a few more centers so that I can go around and do that. And they're doing it phenomenally well. I'm so happy Tammy is here. I met her first time in Arkansas, and then I told her that you have such positive energy, you have such beautiful energy. I'm sure you have a lot to do for the people. And she's really doing so well. So when we honor her, we truly honor her commitment to uplifting so many people's lives. And she's been there doing this everywhere, going around the place, opening new centers, finding new talent, encouraging them, empowering them. And I just thought maybe people should have a look at the kind of people we have. And Tammy is definitely a source of inspiration to all the people in the People Shores. And though she works very hard. She works very hard. And she came up with some wonderful initiatives. You see, there are young mothers who have children whom they cannot leave behind when they come to work. So she organized a daycare center for the children right in the People Show's offices and helped them overcome that barrier, that obstacle, so that they can continue to participate and take care of themselves. Like these wonderful initiatives which are beyond the call of duty. They also have a vegetable garden in Arkansas. That's what they showed me, that when they're bored with or whatever, overwhelmed with the work, they have a little entertainment. They go out, grow their vegetables, and sometimes make some food for themselves and share with each other. So it's just not an office working for business or profits. It is about bringing communities and people together. And that's why this is a unique initiative. This is not just another business house. And as Murli was saying, that this of course is by the grace of Bhagavan that all this has happened, because Rural Shows was its first brother, which started in India. And once that model succeeded, there was confidence that this can be replicated elsewhere also. And I remember so many youngsters in the US who had no jobs. They were on the streets, or they were in the parks, just whiling away their time. And that is how this thought came, that why we shouldn't do something for them like Rural Shows. And with Bhagavan's grace, everything started, and Murli's efforts and determination to make that happen brought it this far. We are also very happy because Pastor Harris, in DeKalb County, he was the one who gave the premises to start a People Shores Center over there. And these collaborations have made all this possible. It's not about just one person doing it all. It's about so many people doing their little bit. And they all coming together is the greatest strength that People Shores has. It is by the people, for the people, of the people. As democracy is, so also is People Shores. And because of people, this is thriving. Perscolas, we heard Ken speak. They are another great partners in the Brooklyn area who find talent and they work with People Shores. And then so many people, I have gone to all these centers, I have heard their stories. And I've been very moved because many of them come from very difficult backgrounds. And probably they wouldn't have any other opportunity if not for People Shores. And they are doing so well, from earning nothing to now earning a 5 or 6 figure salary also in some cases. This has happened only because of People Shores. So much of economic empowerment. The US is not a very easy country, you must understand. India is different. US is I won't say that it's very unforgiving, but it is something that unless you have it in you, you don't have a place in the society there. You must prove yourself and prove every day that you are capable of it. So it takes a lot of effort for these youngsters, sometimes who are school dropouts, or they couldn't finish their college education because of circumstances, or they're young mothers with separations, with children to look after. And one story that I heard in Clarksdale was very, very moving, because this mother of 2 or 3 children, she would lock them all up in the morning and drive all the way to Memphis or somewhere to work 2 or 3 jobs, and then return only late in the night, and then only she opens the door, while these children are just eating from the refrigerator. And they have nobody to look after, they're just locked up in the room. And that kind of stories really moved us, that we should do something about it. But as Vivek said, there are high highs and low lows. So while right now it looks like a high high, but there was a low low at some point in time, which was during COVID. See, we just started and COVID came. And then suddenly all the enterprises were closed, businesses were being downsized, people were being let off, and there was no way we could have sustained without that business. Murli and the board members, they were all at their wits' end as to what should be done. But one thing we were very clear from the day one, that it's about people. Profits come thereafter. Profit is not before people. People are always before profit. Then Murli asked, but we don't have jobs. We have benches now everywhere. And these people are just sitting, and how long can I entertain them by training them in new technologies? They must work, and we don't have work. And we are bleeding money every month, and we cannot answer our shareholders. What should we do? Shall we shut down the center? Shall we let go of the people? There was a lot of back and forth, but we were very clear that at the end of it, we are here to help people, even if it's a little bit of difficulty at this point in time, because the whole world is going through it. We will hold on to our faith and be firm in our conviction that we are here to help people. And in the most difficult times, if we leave their hands, then we have defeated the very purpose for which we started People Shores. And Murli took it very seriously. We never removed even a single staff during those times where big companies and corporates were actually retrenching. And today, it is doing phenomenally well. It's because of the blessings of the divine and the goodwill of those who understood what was being done for them. And that is why the company is growing now, and new centers are coming. And I also promised the University of Chihuahua in Mexico, by the way. The university that I met when I visited Chihuahua, and the chancellor was there, and he met, and I told, what is your requirement? They said, here a lot of youngsters are there, they are from tribal communities, they don't have jobs, they just while away their time, get into wrong ways, and they don't even complete the university. I said, can something be done? And then this idea, why not help them also to get a job and do something with their lives and not waste it. So the university professor came all the way from Chihuahua to Muddenahalli just to meet me and Murli. And then we said, yes, we will try and do whatever we can. So my hope is not just 50 states of the US. That is the first goal. I told first you touch all the 50 states of the US, and then you must go beyond. Beyond to Africa, beyond to Latin America, beyond to Caribbean, beyond to Southeast Asia, beyond to Middle East, Europe, wherever there is a need and necessity, please go out. Let it become a real global corporation which does good to all the people of the world, irrespective of whatever be their nationality, whatever be their belongingness or wherever they come from, irrespective of that, you must help. And Murli is all ready because I have extended his life by another 100 years, so he has to continue doing what he has to do. But when we see these children, these youngsters, and all nicely decked up today in saris and Indian attire of kurta and the jacket and all that stuff, just to please me that they have come all the way and they want to put up their best. They all look so good. And I met them all because in US was a cultural shock for me, to be very, very honest with you. In India, Gurujis are treated very differently. You walk in, everybody is quiet, everybody is respectful, nobody moves. But you walk into a People Show's office, they're all chatting, moving around. I'm wondering, what am I doing here? But I realize it is not disrespect, it is how it is. It's the culture. Looks casual, but that is how they are. They're very open, friendly, and they're very nice though, but appears to be like that. So I took some time to understand the People Show's people. But now I'm okay with it. I can walk in, shake hands, and talk to anybody over there. And they're all very, 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 very nice people. But more than anything else, I said, the transformation that this initiative is bringing, that's very fulfilling. The difficulties are there, challenges are there. Even in a so-called profit-making organizations, there are challenges and difficulties. But then when you do this for your people, it feels worth it. It feels no challenge is too big. When you see what happens on the other side to all these people and how their lives have been transformed. And Rural Shows did that, People Shows is doing that. I'm sure in some time more of these institutions will come up, and these associates who would grow in their corporate ladder career, they would take up initiatives to start new centers and teach this to more new people, and that is how it will perpetuate itself. That is my hope. Shortly we are opening a center right outside Muddenahalli, and this is to empower the people within the institutions who also come from very difficult backgrounds, underprivileged backgrounds, so they also will get to learn new technologies. It will also support the mission and also support the businesses around. So through Rural Shows, we are going to open a center, and the first version of it is going to be housed in the Rajeshwari block, and by the time the building gets ready in a couple of months from now, we will shift that into the new center. So that is the idea. We will begin soon after the birthday celebrations. So that is something that is happening right here for everybody to see. And why do I do this? Why did I insist that we should have a center here? Because Muddenahalli has become a showcase of all the good that happens everywhere around the world. So now when people come, we can take them to our nutrition setup, Saishore. We can take them to the medical hospital setup over there, then to the schools and the university, and to the Veda Pathshala and everything else that is happening, from sports to yoga to taking care of the cows to everything, the Veda Pathshala. So they are very impressed. But one initiative was not represented here, which was creating jobs and empowering rural youths. Therefore, now Rural Shows being here becomes another thing to demonstrate to the people walk in, because seeing is believing. Once they see and they experience what's going on, they would be touched and transformed. So that is why this initiative is also happening within this month. So I'm quite excited about all these wonderful things that happen. As I said, more than anything else, I tell Murli always, profits will happen. They are the consequences of doing good to the people. They are like the byproducts. They are like the after or side effects of doing the right things. So don't worry about that. Yes, there will be some difficulty once in a while, but then which company does not go through it? And I think that is how life is. So we will go through whatever it takes, but we will never let go of our people. That was the idea. I think that is the reason why it is growing and thriving. I'm so happy to see all of them here. When I went to the centers, I told Murli, bring them all to India. At least a few from your centers and the managers, and let them come and see what is happening over here. They'll understand what our mission is all about. They will understand me better, you better, and this whole idea better. And I think you have got a good understanding, isn't it, Tammy? You understand it better, what's going on. So they had an imagination of me there. They saw in videos what we do, but now I think, having experience, they'll go back more convinced and committed to this cause. And this can be done anywhere. If it can be done in India, it can be done anywhere. As Pastor was saying, I've seen all this, I'm very impressed, and I'll figure it out how to do it back in the US. I said that would be the way. We would work together and see what we can do. So together, anything is possible. Together we can is the strength of our societies, our communities. And I'm sure in times to come, people will do very well, not only for the US, for everywhere around the world, wherever we have centers and we have possibilities, we will take this to those people, those youngsters, and that is how we build a better world for each other. Let me again congratulate the entire People Shores team, Rural Shores team, for doing this wonderful work, for working so hard, for all the people who have supported and believed in this cause, and for all our wonderful young managers, associates, and center heads who treat it like a family, who deal with each other like a family. And yes, in family, we sometimes also have arguments, but then we overcome all that because we love each other and we care for each other. So the One World, One Family is the big global mission. In that, a small family is that of People Shores, which is again a family of people living together. That is how we build a world family. And lot of blessings to Murli in particular, Vivek, to all the board members, all the stakeholders, to all these wonderful people who are part of People Shores and Rural Shores. And I look forward to, as I said, visiting US very soon, and keep the big scissors ready, Tammy. Yes, I hope you're still having it, you haven't given it away. No, you shouldn't, you have it. And they have a different ceremony. Here we tie the ribbon to the doors, they hold it in their hands, and then you have to cut it. So this I learned over there, a big fat ribbon. So I love it, and I will come back and cut, I think 2 ribbons, just 2. Murli, you have to incentivize. 2 ribbons for now, but that's all right. That to begin with 2 ribbons. And that is because we started in Cincinnati, is it now? Missouri and outside Cincinnati and Missouri. That are the 2 centers that are coming up. Well, I'm okay with 2 ribbons for now, but I would expect more. However, next 5 years is a big growth for People Shores and a lot of hard work too. So everybody should be ready for that. But take that motivation from the fact that you are impacting lives who had no other way. Other than us, there was nobody who would go back for them. Therefore, be excited, be motivated, be looking forward to all days of work at People Shores, because this is our family, this is our home, this is what we are, this is who we are. And that identity is our pride. Wear it on your sleeves and then do what is needed, what is right. A lot of blessings are there to all of you. And please convey this to all others who could not come. I'm sure they're watching it online, or they would watch it a little later because it must be midnight in the US. But whenever they can watch it, a lot of blessings and love to everyone, every single member of People Shores and the Rural Shores who have been doing such a wonderful work. What more can I say? Lots and lots and lots and lots of blessings and love to everyone.
We will now take a short break and come back in just a few minutes.
करुणा सिंधु दशरथ नंदन भक्तिपुरीश्वर राम।
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 प्रेम स्वरूप प्रशांति निकेतन मारुति सेवित 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 राम।
अहल्योद्धारक राजीवलोचन रघुकुलभूषण राम।
अहल्योद्धारक राजीवलोचन
अहल्योद्धारक राजीवलोचन रघुकुलभूषण राम।
अहल्योद्धारक राजीवलोचन रघुकुलभूषण राम।
करुणा सिंधु दशरथ नंदन भक्तिपुरीश्वर राम।
करुणा सिंधु दशरथ नंदन भक्तिपुरीश्वर राम।
प्रेम स्वरूप प्रशांति निकेतन मारुति सेवित राम।
प्रेम स्वरूप प्रशांति निकेतन मारुति सेवित राम।
अहल्योद्धारक राजीवलोचन रघुकुलभूषण राम।
अहल्योद्धारक राजीवलोचन रघुकुलभूषण राम।
अहल्योद्धारक राजीवलोचन रघुकुलभूषण राम।
अहल्योद्धारक राजीवलोचन रघुकुलभूषण राम।
करुणा सिंधु दशरथ नंदन भक्तिपुरीश्वर राम।
A warm welcome back to this next segment of Satya Darpan. Yesterday, Sadhguru began his discourse by explaining that perfection is not merely about performing every external action flawlessly. He stated that when one's thoughts, words, and actions are in complete alignment with purity, then even an act that appears imperfect from a worldly perspective becomes absolutely perfect in the eyes of God. In the 29th shloka, sage Ashtavakra tells King Janaka, the one who harbors ego within, even when he acts, does not truly act. But for a jnani, everything gets done even though he appears to be doing nothing. Highlighting that clarity of thought arises naturally by living in the presence of a jnani, Sadhguru concluded by reminding us that it is through such sacred company that we learn to observe, imbibe, and implement these teachings in our own lives. We now pray to Sadhguru to bless us all with his divine discourse on the Ashtavakra Gita.
सहनावतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः.
Narada tells in Narada Bhakti Sutra that how a devotee should be. He says, Shanardhapi na vyartham naneyam, means not even half a moment you should waste in your life by not remembering God. Every moment should be in the remembrance of the divine name. That is how a bhakta lives. Because for a moment also, if he does not think of God, he is restless, he cannot be at peace, he cannot be joyful. So it's like you need to breathe to be alive. Like that, he needs to always remember God to be happy, to be joyful. So I won't waste even half a moment and 15 minutes also to teach. And I'm like that terrible maths teacher or science teacher. He'll cancel your games and finish the syllabus and take extra hours after the school hours. So I'm like that. You have to really, really thank your fortunes. I'm not your subject teacher. So I thought I won't even leave 15-20 minutes. If I get, I will take 2 shlokas at least in that time. But more than that, I do not want you to let go of this thought, that continuous thinking about these concepts. Because in all these festivities and excitements, it's very easy to get derailed and get into the same old habit of getting involved in the outside and then forgetting all the inside. So that is why we'll continue. And I want to finish this book before all the other functions start. So we heard yesterday that this person who is the jnani, he does not meditate, he need not meditate. Everything is meditation for him. As he walks, talks, moves around, does whatever he does, he is as if in a constant state of meditation. His mind is absorbed in the divine while the body goes on doing what it needs to do. As if on autopilot, like those Tesla cars in the US, since today is the US day. You just have to get inside the car and punch in the destination. The rest of it is done by that auto or self-driven cars. You just stop, that car stops at every signal, starts on its own. It calculates the distance, the route, and everything. So it's very magical to sit inside the Tesla car, if you have faith in the car, that is. Otherwise, it's very difficult to sit in the car and not touch the steering and believe that everything will be okay and you won't be crushed under a coming truck. This is very risky and scary. But once you get used to it, the life is simple, very easy. You just have to get in and then everything happens. So that idea, these people are as if on autopilot. They don't need to specially meditate to be at peace, to be calm, to be collected, to be centered. They're always centered. They're always calm. They're always collected. They're always rooted in their spiritual self. So everything that happens outside them is as if it's happening by by some kind of autopilot kind of mechanism where they don't have to do. Once I was traveling in this private jet in the US, small jet, from one place to another. And halfway through I saw that two of those pilots will be sitting, one the main pilot and the other is co-pilot. Both of them were doing nothing, just chatting with each other, their hands off the machine, having their sandwich and coffee. And I was thinking, is that okay or it is not okay? Because seems like nobody is managing the plane at all. Nobody is concerned. They're happily chatting away. One of them gets up, walks in, walks out to pick up his coffee and then sandwiches. And I was wondering, are we safe at all? This was between Mexico and the US, that trip. But they are like that because they know this machine is capable of taking care of itself. They don't need to interfere with it. Once you have the mechanism set, then it takes care. Likewise, these jnanis are like on autopilot. Their bodies are doing what needs to be done. They're speaking, thinking, touching, smelling, tasting, seeing, acting in the world. But inside they are as if not at all involved. They are not the doers. So nirdhyatum, they don't meditate. Yet they are not disturbed. Whereas we need to meditate to remain at least not disturbed for some time. They don't need to do all this because they're already always living in that state, and as if without a reason they operate in the world, driven by something else, someone else. The next sloka on page number 199, which is 18.32, says, Tattvam yatharthamakarnya mandaha prapnoti mudhatam athava yati sankocham amudhaha kopi mudhavat. Which means, it's a very interesting shloka which says when the truth is told, tattvam means that the ultimate truth, tat-tvam. That is what is tattvam. You are that. That truth is told to these people, yathartham akarnya, they listen to it as it is, without thinking, without analyzing, without understanding it properly, just as it comes. Yathartham akarnya, mandaha prapnoti mudatam. The fools, they attain foolishness or more ignorance. Because if the truth is told to the undeserving, unprepared, unready disciple, he is going to rather misunderstand than understand the truth. Like if you say, there is nothing to be done in this world for the jnani. That's a truth. Because jnani's life is an autopilot. Whatever needs to be done, it gets done. But jnani does not do anything in the world. If you say like that, the fool will think, oh, I also need not do anything in the world. That is how I attain my spiritual self. They will misunderstand by looking at jnani's behavior. They'll think they also can be like that. But they are not ready for that. They are not ready. In fact, they become more deluded after listening to the truths of the Upanishads. When I say Brahma Satyam Jagan Mithya, God alone is real, the world is unreal, they will abandon the world, saying, it's anyway unreal, I don't need to do anything about it. Like somebody was there in the ashram, he said, I asked him, why are you not coming for satsangs? He says, I am trying to meditate on the self. I love the solitude of my room. I have understood these satsangs and public gatherings and all these energies of different people is not good for me. Therefore, I'd hardly come out of my room. I'm always staying inside and meditating. I said, then you will live alone. What about your lunch and dinner and breakfast and things like that? For that, I come out and have my dinner quickly and go back to my room. So you see how they understand the necessity of solitude. For food and other necessities, they want to come and they don't mind sitting in the canteen and eating what needs to be eaten. But for meditation and satsangs, they don't want to come. Why? They feel that is not necessary. We need to be in solitude and be recluse and all that. So this idea, when you tell the truth to the undeserving, they get more confused than they already are. But what happens to the jnanis, the wise people also, when they hear the truth, they appear to behave like the unwise people, it is said. Unwise people anyway behave in an unwise way, but the wise people also seem to withdraw and behave in an unwise way. Which means, you don't see the ambition, the drive, the pursuit for things, that energy, that push, that you don't see in jnanis anymore. So it feels like, what kind of man he is? No ambition in life, nothing, no drive, no passion, nothing to achieve. He is like, so on the surface they appear like a fool who does not do anything in life, simply whiles away his time, never engages in any meaningful action, never is interested in so many things. They are lazy and lethargic. Jnani appears to be like that, but he is not like that. He is not involving in the world and worldly things for a greater reason. Which is, if it is unnecessary, why should I involve? If it is necessary, anyway it will be done through me. But the fools understand it wrongly by looking at the Jnani. When he is not doing, why should I do like that? Yesterday I mentioned the story of Paramahamsa Yogananda, who went and checked his guru's breath early in the morning, because he was upset that all of these disciples were being told to meditate early in the mornings, but this guru was having a happy sleep till late in the morning. So he went to check why my guru does not meditate. And he checked, there was no breath. He thought he dead. And he made a huge, big noise. But then this man got up and said, why are you making so much of noise? He said, I thought you were dead. He said, no. Then you were not breathing. He said, that is my way of meditating. I am in samadhi. But you were lying down. You were not sitting upright. Your spine was not straight and your head was not tilted. He said, all those rules don't apply to me. So fools will think of Jnani and say, oh, if he can sleep till 5, I can also sleep till 5. If he can meditate while lying, I can also meditate while lying. This is the way they misunderstand the truth. You cannot compare yourself with Jnanis just like that. Only one Jnani will know another Jnani. That is what I have been telling all the time. Bhrantasyeva dashastas tadrisha eva janate. Only another Jnani will know the real Jnani. Others will misunderstand them. They get fooled by that. So this one says that the one who is not really a Jnani will misunderstand the scriptures, misinterpret the instructions of the Guru. Once a Guru was there, he called all his 3 disciples and gave them a pound of chickpeas and said, keep it with you. I am going on a pilgrimage. I will visit all these centers of pilgrimage and then I will return after a year. You have to return these chickpeas to me when I return back after my pilgrimage. So all the 3 disciples thought, that's no big deal. We will return it to him when he comes. What did the first one do? He thought, my Guru has given as prasadam. If this won't last a year, this will get rotten and spoiled. Anyway, Guru has given me, let me eat it, and when he comes, I'll give him another set of chickpeas which I'll buy from the market. So the first one finishes it off the same day. The second one thinks, this is my Guru's gift. It is sacred, it is holy. I must worship it. And he doesn't think more than that. He puts it in a cupboard, lights a lamp, puts some incense sticks and starts worshipping that kg of chickpeas. The third one thinks, he says, if I eat it, I won't be able to return it to him. If I put it in the cupboard, there is a very good chance that insects will eat it, it will get spoiled. How do I return to my Guru what he has given me? And he plans to sow it. He tills the soil, plows the field, sows the seeds, and works on it. And after 1 year, when the Guru returns, he has a huge, big harvest of chickpeas. When the Guru asked the first one, where is my chickpeas? He said, I've eaten it. I thought you had given it to me and that's it. I will buy it from market and get you another kg. He said, no, I don't need yours. Second one he asked, where is it? Come, I'll show you. It is in the cupboard. He opens the cupboard. There are only termites and insects and worms and rotten chickpeas. The Guru closes his nose and walks away. He says, this is no good. And the third one says, please come with me. And he takes him to the field outside and shows, all this is yours, O Guru. You gave me only so much, but today I've made it so much more. And everything is yours. Take as much as you want. The Guru is very pleased. So the instruction is same to the 3 disciples. But each understands it differently. The first one understood very ordinarily. Second one, again understood but misunderstood it, not correctly. And the third one really understood what Guru was trying to say. And he says, yes, go ahead and get me as much as you want. So this is the idea that truth is told to the same people, but different people understand it differently. Why? Because their readiness, their preparedness, their deservedness is different. So how to be absolutely deserving, ready and prepared disciple? Follow the scriptures instructions correctly, and I always say, follow the lead of those who have walked this path. Because they will tell you how many pitfalls are there, how many twists and turns are there, ups and downs are there. They would guide you. And that is how you become a better person faster. Learn from others' experience. You don't have to make a mistake all by yourself to understand how to not make a mistake. Learn from others' mistakes, others' experience. Wise people do that. That's why they read books about great ones. They get inspired by their lives. They study the lives of these great ones who also have gone through these motions of life, but they have overcome all of those. So reading the lives of saints, reading the lives of great people is a great idea for others to understand how to lead their lives. That's why H.W. Longfellow says, lives of great men all remind us we can make our lives sublime, and departing leave behind us footprints on the sands of time. We must leave footprints behind for others also to find the shore. Otherwise, they will have no clue. That is why I always tell many people who have lived good lives, I tell them, please write a book about it. Please write about it. Please talk about it. They say, what can I do with it? No, you don't need to do anything with it. You don't need to do it for any praise or blame. Do it so that others will benefit. That is why I got hold of Mr. Tigrit and told him, you write a book about your life. He said, my life is, I don't know whether it's going to be any inspiration to anybody. I said, surely it will be. You have seen both the sides of the world, the outside and the inside. So make your book and title it as Within and Without. So some things you tell about what was happening on the outside and some things about what was happening on the inside. So an ordinary youth can relate to your book because they also go through all those terrible things in life, good, bad, ugly. But at the same time, you still can find God despite all these follies and faults in you. And that is your life. Why don't you write about it? So he's writing. He made the first version. Then he said, I told him, come for these functions. Then he wrote to me, I haven't finished the book to my satisfaction. I will come to India next only when I am done with it. So I said, okay, Mr. Tigrit decided that he would come only after he finishes the book and he'll watch the programs. He anyway watches everything. I said, so be it. But do leave a book behind so that people can read and get inspired. That is why lives of great men all remind us that we can make our lives sublime. So these novices on the path of spirituality, they must read the lives of others and get inspired by that. And they must read honest accounts of people's lives, which tell them about both the sides, the mistakes and the failures, also the achievements and successes. Be honest to people when you write. Mahatma Gandhi's book, My Experiment with Truth, is amazing. It's a little lengthy, but amazing. He ends up with a friend in his eagerness to experience the joys of the youth in a prostitute's house. And he writes about it in his book. How many of them will write about it? He writes saying that I was tempted by one of my friends who was a regular visitor to this lady's house. And as a youth in teens, tempted by the idea and curious to know, I also ended up there. But I could not bring myself to do anything because I felt so much of guilt or that prick of conscience within that I had to return from there. And he says it honestly. And he also says that when he was newly married to Kasturba Ma, he was so infatuated, all that hormones rioting inside your head and body. You just can't stay away from your wife. So he would keep waiting to return to his wife every evening. And in that process, it seems one day when his mother was not well, and she was seeking help and she was sleeping in another room, he was so infatuated with his wife that he did not pay any attention at all. And next morning when he found out, I think his father wasn't well, that his father was suffering because he could not attend to him, he felt very guilty. He said, what is this? What is this madness about myself? That so selfish I became that I could not pay attention to my own father's needs. See, these are honest accounts of these great ones. He is written straight away in the book. Somebody who is the father of the nation, who is eulogized and worshipped and put on a pedestal, he had every choice to omit all these incidents and make himself look like totally, a very strong personality, not vulnerable to the vicissitudes of life, not weak at all. He could have painted a very different picture of himself. But he writes, and then his difficulties with truth, how many times he thought he would give up because things wouldn't work out the way he thought it would be. It tested his patience and endurance and his resolve. But he writes about it. So why I'm saying is that when you don't still have the experience of the self, you read about others. Instead of directly reading a scripture, okay, let me take Ashtavakra Gita, we'll start off. After all, it's Sanskrit and we have translations available. You will misunderstand it. Rather read somebody's life who has practiced Ashtavakra Gita and study how that person has gone through the ups and downs of it, how he or she has understood that. Then come and read the scripture by yourself. So without doing that, if you end up reading the scripture, you will misunderstand it all, like the Yukteswar Giri Maharaj story. How Paramasa Yogananda misunderstood his guru's way of doing things. So don't just copy like that. Understand and study about lives of the great people, because they seem to behave contradictory to the societal standards. But they, deep within, they are happy within themselves. When Jesus Christ accepted that Mary of Magdalene, when everybody else was pelting her with stones, his behavior seemed not right to the society. But he accepted her, saying, everybody makes a mistake. If no one has made a mistake in this crowd, they have the right to throw stones at her. And nobody could dare to do that. Buddha stayed overnight on the, during the old times, there used to be a pedestal outside the homes of people for the way passers-by to rest in the night. A little ledge-like thing or little platform. And he stayed, and he turned out to be a prostitute's house. Buddha knew nothing about it. He was invited by her, saying, "Oh monk, oh great one, please take rest at my home." And she offered some fruits and water and the place to rest. And he rested. And the next morning there was a scandal in the town that Buddha was interested. He only looks like a monk, but he was living with a prostitute all night. But it wasn't true. For him it doesn't matter. Even if he knew that it was so, why should it matter to him? Is he tempted by all this? Is he even affected by it? He's seeing something greater. That kind of, so you cannot just copy the behavior of the Gyanis just like that, without understanding the spirit of what they are doing. So this is why Ashtavakra Gita should not be read by just anybody. Swami Vivekananda was the only person whom Ramakrishna Paramsa used to teach Ashtavakra Gita. And anybody else comes in the room, he will take the book and hide it under his bed, Ramakrishna Paramahamsa. Because he knew that the others were not ready for it. If they read it, they will misunderstand it and do the wrong things. Whereas Vivekananda had the capacity to understand it. So he would ask Vivekananda to read the book because he could not read. Ramakrishna was an unlettered man. So he would ask Vivekananda, please read this for me. And then they will have a discussion on whatever was the thought. But anybody else enters the room, he will snatch the book and hide it under his bed. Because he knew others are not ready. So that is why when the truth is told to the Ajnani, he will misunderstand it, misinterpret it and do it all wrongly. Whereas the same truth, when a Jnani hears, he also may behave like that, but he has a reason to do that. You cannot just copy it. Next shloka is on 18.33, shloka 1833, which is on 205 page. It says, Ekagrata nirodho va mudhair abhyaste bhrusham dhiraha krutyam na pashyanti suptavat swapade stitaha. How the fools act in the world? Ekagrata. Oh, let me focus now. Let me concentrate. Let me do Padmasana now. Let me shut all the windows and doors. Let me shoo away everybody who is around making any noise. And now let me focus and concentrate and meditate. So much of paraphernalia and drama around them. Then what happens? And nirodha means I must restrict myself from these things. I will not eat this, I will not drink that, I will not meet them, I will not do this, I will not go there, I will not hear this. So many rules and regulations they bind themselves with. Then mudhehi, these are fools. Abhyaste brusham. They very, with great, as if with great vengeance, they practice their spiritual austerities. With great, I wouldn't call it intensity, some kind of, huge effort. Intensely, vehemently they practice spiritual austerities in the name of trying to attain the truth. So they become very, very strict and too difficult also at times to deal with. Whereas dhiraha, the wise people, krityam na pashyanti, even if he is doing something, he does not see it as if he is doing it. How does he behave? As if he is established in a deep sleep state. Supta, as if he is sleeping. Suptavat, swapade stitaha. He is established in the self, in that knowledge of the truth, like somebody who is in deep sleep. Or you can think of somebody who is sleepwalking. When somebody is sleepwalking, they don't know what they are doing, do they? We had these troubles with some of our students who sleepwalk. This is called I don't know, some somnambulism or something like that it's called. So they're sleeping, but they're walking around. And the warden thinks he's going to the washroom or something, but he's just roaming around the hostel round and round and round. We had a problem with Mandya campus. They told me we didn't have a main door. Every room had their own door, so we didn't put a main door which was locked. And one night they found one fellow, he had already reached the main gate of the campus, walking in the sleep. And you shake him up, then he comes awake and says, where am I? What is going on? So he says, you are walking, you walked out of your room and were walking away outside the campus. That happens, sleepwalking happens. Like that, as if these jnanis behave like that. No effort. No effort. Now every sleepwalker is not a jnani, by the way. Not the jnanis will sleepwalk. The first shloka, previous shloka applies to if you understand like this. Oh, so jnanis are like sleepwalkers. So if I sleepwalk, I'll become a jnani. No. The idea is that they behave as if because they don't know what they're doing, why they don't know, or they don't associate with it. It is almost compared to a state of a person who is sleepwalking or sleep doing things. He's not aware. He's not, in a way, conscious of things. But does he not know that he is the one who is doing it? He knows, but he does not associate himself with it. Does not associate with that doing, with that action. Therefore, he remains free. So this is the way. Whether Ajnani, so many rules and regulations. They don't even start a thing without doing all those rituals that they have decided to do. Like I keep telling the story of that foolish disciple whose guru returns after a long pilgrimage and knocks on his door. The hot midday sun says, open the door, open the door. Who is it? I am your guru. My feet are burning in the hot sun because you have taken away my paduka for worship. He says, yes, that's exactly what I am doing. I'll finish the worship and then I will open the door. So some of them are like that. The sticklers to rules without thinking about it. Why you should do it? No, because this is how it should be done. But for whose sake are you doing? For the sake of Guru, who is standing in the hot sun and getting burnt, and you are taking his paduka and doing paduka puja, and not opening the door. Sometimes our mind can do this to us. It can trick us into thinking, if you do these many nam japas, that many pilgrimages, those many recitations, these many likita nama japa, or these many chanting of mantras, you will attain the self. It may be in the beginning just to keep you focused and make you sit in one place. Otherwise your mind and body keeps going everywhere. For that sake initially. Like when you are a small baby, you need a walker to walk, right? Children have that walker, they're put inside and they keep walking all around the place without falling. But when the same child grows up and becomes capable of walking on his own, he has developed the balance and gait, nobody needs to give him a walker. He walks on his own. In fact, he does not even think that he is walking. Now when you return from this, are you thinking, I am walking back to my room? Nobody thinks like that. I am going to my room, you will say. But how are you going? By walking. But do you acknowledge that you are walking and going? No, walking is happening to you. You just have a goal to go to your room or to the canteen or to the food court, and walking is a part of it. You don't even specially acknowledge that I am walking and going. Why? Because walking has become natural nature to you. Like that for these jnanis, non-doership is their nature. So they won't say, I am doing this right now. It is being done. That feeling of burden of doing does not exist in this, including the feeling that I must meditate, I must do these many chants, that many rituals, after that only I will attain something. No, these people's lives are effortless. So should we not do any pujas, rituals? No, don't be that fool who misunderstands things. You haven't reached that state, like the child who has not learned to walk on his own, still needs a walker, fine. But if you see a grown-up moving around in a walker, what would you tell him? What's wrong with you? You don't need one. Yes, in childhood you use this, we understand, but now you don't need this. You have grown up, your legs are strong. You can walk. That is the way. Once you become a jnani, you don't need these support systems of prayers, rituals and things like that. You may still do it, like Adi Shankaracharya went around, did his rituals, prayers, but only for the sake of setting an example for the others. There is no demanding and asking in those rituals. That if I do this ritual, I'll get this at the end. Those ideas disappear. You do it because you love God, you want to meet God every day, you want to see God every day, you want to experience that God every day. Therefore, you find a little time in your daily schedule to sit down and talk one-to-one. Otherwise, all day you are doing God's work only. You are immersed in that God's feeling. Where is the need for you to do? Like a fish is there. If you go, you have to have a bath and come to satsangs. Can I tell the fish, have a bath and then come to me? It will say, I'm always in the river. Now, how else I should have bath? How should take a shower? I'm always immersed in water. Where is the question of me trying to purify myself and then come and meet you? Likewise, these jnanis are immersed in that God feeling. Then why should they still go and do pujas? One, for the sake of setting an example for others. They must teach others how to do things right. Two, just for the joy of it, just for the sake of it. There is no demand, there is no asking, there is no achieving, or there is no expectation out of their works. They just do it because it's to be done, that's it. I also do prayers, I also light a lamp, I also sit in front of God, I also talk to God, I also experience that peace. For those few moments every day, and I insist that everybody does that. Even if you are the biggest jnani, you will never stop doing some of those things. Like Narasimhamurthy was telling before that Zen master, what were you doing before you became a master? I used to draw water and cut wood. Now what are you doing after becoming a master? I am drawing water and cutting wood, he said. Externally nothing changed, internally everything has changed for the jnanis. The idea is that. So they don't have to put such rigorous efforts, intensive, vehement efforts to control their mind and body and senses. All this is unnecessary for a jnani because by nature they have overcome all those limitations and all the time they're established in the self like a fish inside the water. It doesn't need a special ritual to cleanse itself and then come to see that God or the Great One. It is always immersed in that pure water. Therefore, it does not need to do. But sometimes these jnanis will withdraw from things like ajnanis do. It may appear to that how can they not do rituals? Why is he not doing his ritual today? Why he did not meditate today? He need not. But he meditates nevertheless every day so that others learn from him. That is all it is. That is all it is. They don't need to do that. So, but sometimes they behave like ordinary to make people feel kinship. Bhagwan used to say, I come down to your level so that you can develop friendship with me. You can relate to me. He was joking, if I had come like Lord Vishnu with 4 hands with chakra and gada and hasta, these people would have locked me up in a museum and charged tickets to see me, he used to say. So I have come just like one of you, so that you can feel kinship with me. And then I rise to the heights of spiritual realization. And then you look up and say, oh, I must also become like that. So when I asked him, why did you put my name as this Sadguru? Why this title? Anything else you could have given? He said, see, I have taught you, now you have to teach them. That is the idea. And mine was a descent. I came down from there. Yours is an ascent. You are rising from here to there. And so people will relate to you faster than they related with me. When I was there in one of those places where there was a huge exhibition in Bangalore, and I was told to interview one of the leading cardiac surgeon of the country who was building a lot of hospitals and also devotee of Bhagwan. So I was a student, and as a student I went with my notebook and was interviewing. After listening to everything, finally I asked the question, do you think these models of hospitals that Bhagwan has created are replicable? Others can do it? Basically I wanted to hear from him that yes, I can do it. But he said instead, no, nobody can do it. Coming from a huge, very reputed, popular cardiac surgeon, saying, no, this model of free hospital, nobody can do it, he said. I was very disappointed. I thought at least he should have said, I would do it, yes, it should be done. He said, only Bhagwan can do it, nobody can do it, he said. Why? Because they treated Bhagwan as a descent, an avatar. Oh, he is beyond our reach. He was born like that with all those abilities and all those powers. So he could do anything like that. We are just mortals, human beings. After all, what is our capacity to do anything? Therefore, it is not possible for us. We resign it, even before we start the process, we give it up. Because we have already distanced ourselves from God and godly people and said they are different, they are in another league. We are here lower beings, mortals. But Bhagwan wanted to change that narrative. He said, you do it. And no miracles happen, let me tell you. We call it miracle because unexpectedly things have happened more than our expectations. But everything is hard work. When Bharat came one day and he was telling, I told everything is hard work here. What is miracle, you tell me? This building appeared on its own. No. Every day laborers went, architects went, engineers went, supervisors went. Every day they worked. They worked harder than the others, therefore it came up faster than the others, that's all. And people call it a miracle. It's not miracle, it's sheer hard work. You worked harder than the rest, so you reach faster. If you run faster than the rest, you will reach faster, isn't it? You ran fast, so you reached fast. Like that we worked harder, so we built it faster. There is no miracle over here. You may attribute it to God's grace because yes, a lot of unexpected things happen, a lot of beyond our expectations things also happen, so we are very grateful. To that extent, yes, God's grace was there, but it was not a miracle that nobody did nothing and suddenly things happened. That never happened. So now this mission is more relatable. Why? There is no so-called descent sitting in the driver's seat. There is another human being like you who is in charge of things, who has built this thing up through sheer hard work and purity, selflessness. That example is easily replicable by anybody, isn't it? Anybody around the world becomes selfless and pure, he can achieve it. And Bhagavan used to tell in Discourse, anybody who is selfless, anybody who is pure, can have all the powers of God, can do whatever God does. But we used to just ignore it. No, he will say like this just to encourage us, but you think all of this is possible? But today it is possible, not only possible, it has superseded all the expectations and so-called benchmarks. There were 2 hospitals, now there are 15 of them. There were 2-3 campuses, now there are 27, 30 of them. There were these many people being fed today, multitudes, tens of millions, and so many new things. So the idea is that for this Jnani, he does not have to do all these things. Still he does for the sake of setting an example so that the others can follow. That's it, I think, for today. If I do beyond it, I'll be a real bad maths teacher. So I'll leave it at this. But I want you to continuously think about it, because if you don't stop thinking about it even for one day, there's a good chance that you'll slip back several notches to your old dead habits, and then it's very difficult to pull yourself up again. So please do that. I have to meet the devotees from the USA now, so I'll go and meet them there. Meanwhile, you please contemplate on this thought. I think, should we listen to the song or skip it also? You want to listen to the song? How many to listen to the song? Show of hands. That's it. Sing, please. That's a song from Basavanna.
ಗೀತವ ಹಾಡಿದೊಡೆನೋ ಶಾಸ್ತ್ರ ಪುರಾಣವ ಕೇಳಿದರೇನೋ ಹಾಡಿದರೇನು ಮನವೊಲಿದು ಲಿಂಗ ಜಂಗಮವ ಮನವೊಲಿದು ಲಿಂಗ ಜಂಗಮವ ಮನವೊಲಿದು ಲಿಂಗ ಜಂಗಮವ ಪೂಜಿಸಲರಿಯದವರು ಮನವೊಲಿದು ಲಿಂಗ ಜಂಗಮವ ಪೂಜಿಸಲರಿಯದವರು ಎಲ್ಲರಲ್ಲಿ ಅನುಭಾವಿ ಎಲ್ಲರಲ್ಲಿ ಅನುಭಾವಿ ಆದೊಡೇನು 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 ಭಕ್ತಿ ಇಲ್ಲದವರ ನೊಲ್ಲ ಕೂಡಲ ಸಂಗಮ ದೇವ ಭಕ್ತಿ ಇಲ್ಲದವರ ನೊಲ್ಲ ಕೂಡಲ ಸಂಗಮ ದೇವ ಗೀತವ ಹಾಡಿದರೇನೋ ಶಾಸ್ತ್ರ ಪುರಾಣವ ಕೇಳಿದರೇನು ವೇದ ವೇದಾಂತವ ನೋದಿದರೇನು ವೇದ ವೇದಾಂತವ ನೋದಿದರೇನು ವೇದ ವೇದಾಂತವ ನೋದಿದರೇನು ವೇದ ವೇದಾಂತವ ನೋದಿದರೇನು ಗೀತವ ಹಾಡಿದರೇನು ಶಾಸ್ತ್ರ ಪುರಾಣವ ಕೇಳಿದರೇನು ಗೀತವ ಹಾಡಿದರೇನು ಗೀತವ ಹಾಡಿದರೇನು ಗೀತವ ಹಾಡಿದರೇನು सर्वसुगुण सिंधवे सकल सुजन बंधवे सर्वसुगुण सिंधवे सकल सुजन बंधवे गुरवे मधुसूदनाय महितमंगलम् सद्गुरवे मधुसूदनाय महितमंगलम् दीन दुखित पोषकाय दान धर्म प्रेरकाय दीन दुखित पोषकाय दान धर्म प्रेरकाय सर्वलोकहितरताय सर्वमंगलम् सद्गुरवे मधुसूदनाय महितमङ्गलम् वेदनादवर्धकाय विश्वशान्तिस्थापकाय वेदनादवर्धकाय विश्वशान्तिस्थापकाय ब्रह्मज्ञानबोधकाय दिव्यमङ्गलम् सद्गुरवे मधुसूदनाय महितमङ्गलम् सत्य साईनः प्रियाय सत्य प्रेम विग्रहाय सत्य साईनः प्रियाय सत्य प्रेम विग्रहाय नित्य शुद्ध निर्मलाय नित्यमङ्गलम् सद्गुरवे मधुसूदनाय नित्यमङ्गलम् सद्गुरवे मधुसूदनाय महितमङ्गलम् ॐ जय जगदीश हरे स्वामी सत्य साई हरे भक्तजना संरक्षक भक्तजना संरक्षक पति महेश्वरा ॐ जय जगदीश हरे शशिवदना श्रीकरा सर्वा प्राणपते स्वामी सर्वा प्राणपते आश्रित कल्पलतिका आश्रित कल्पलतिका आहताभव ॐ जय जगदीश हरे मातपिता गुरुदैवमु पर्यन्तयो नीवे स्वामी मर्यन्तयो नीवे नाद ब्रह्म जगन्नाथा नाद ब्रह्म जगन्नाथा नागेन्द्रशयना ॐ जय जगदीश हरे ओंकार रूप ओजस्वी ॐ साई महादेव सद्गुरु साई महादेवा मंगलहारति अंदुको मंगलहारति अंदुको मंदरगिरिधारी ॐ जय जगदीश हरे नारायण नारायण ॐ सत्यनारायण नारायण नारायण ॐ नारायण नारायण ॐ सत्यनारायण नारायण ॐ सत्यनारायण नारायण ॐ जय सद्गुरुदेवा नारायण नारायण ॐ सत्यनारायण नारायण नारायण ॐ नारायण नारायण ॐ सत्यनारायण नारायण ॐ सत्यनारायण नारायण ॐ जय सद्गुरुदेवा नारायण नारायण ॐ सत्यनारायण नारायण नारायण ॐ नारायण नारायण ॐ सत्यनारायण नारायण ॐ सत्यनारायण नारायण ॐ जय सद्गुरुदेवा शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः समस्तलोका सुखिनो भवन्तु समस्तलोका सुखिनो भवन्तु समस्तलोका सुखिनो भवन्तु ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः जय बोलो भगवान श्री सत्य साई बाबा जी की जय जय बोलो सद्गुरु श्री मधुसूदन साई जी की जय।
We request only the girl students from PU to PG, medical students, nursing students, and allied health sciences students to please stay back. We request everyone else to please leave the auditorium. Thank you so much. We will see you in the afternoon. Only girl students, please stay back. Thank you.